Hey, we back. We back. I'm back. Finally. Oh, it's been a long week. I've been trying to go live, but my husband has been sick, so I had to do the wifely duty thing. So how's it been going? We had a lot of things going on. It's like my computer is moving slow. I don't even know what's going on, but we here. So let's get into it. Life has been lifing with me, but it's been lifing around this country too, I see. We had Trump acting a fool. We had, was it Bad Bunny? Bad Bunny, he's vibing. I said, we understood what the statement was made. We understood everything. At least I did. I said, it was a beautiful rainbow of brown. I loved it. I loved every inch of it. Also, we have people losing their minds about the halftime show. So, all that to say, it was a little saucy, I guess. They didn't like it, honey. They didn't like it because it was all in Spanish. And then we have Samantha Guthrie's mother is still missing. Something was supposed to happen yesterday, honey. I don't even know what's going on. And then we got, was it Glorilla? And what y'all named her? I think her name is Victoria. She goes by Scarface. But y'all done named her. The internet has named her Brorilla. So we got some things we can talk about tonight. So let me get on with it. So if it's messy, trendy, or if it got the internet in shambles, we are talking about it. Honey, somebody's going to get talked about tonight because the tea is hot. Opinions could be very reckless. My opinions. So this is Night Talk Uncensored. Thank you for joining me this evening. Let's get to talking. Drop down in the chat. Let me know where you're watching me from. And we can get to talking about all the things that are going on. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're one of these people that, get a little upset about some of the words that I use or whatever, maybe this is not the show for you. If you get a little bit upset or salty about us talking about your faith, and I'm going to tell you one thing. If you're MAGA, this definitely ain't the place for you. It's not. We ain't no pro, nobody over here. We just pro the truth, okay? So let's start out what happened last week. We had 47 over there thought he was going to be funny. Right? And depict our favorite president as a monkey. And I'm thinking, what the hell? Ape monkey or whatever it was. You're in the Oval Office. I think if I had a job that requires me to be a little bit more pulled up, I'm going to be a little bit more pulled up. I'm not going to act a fool. I'm not. That is, I don't get it. I really don't. And how people think that, especially the evangelical right, this man is everything that is not Christian-like, but I don't understand it. I really don't. He could say all these things, even at the prayer. What was it? The prayer breakfast or prayer, whatever it was, and he's talking about people. I'm like, Lord, what would Jesus do? This man seems like he's the Antichrist to me. Because nothing about him is Christ-like. So let's go over here. Let me go find it. And we can talk about that first. Get that on out the way. I said, he's out here tripping. So we have him depicting our favorite president and his wife as primates. I'm like, what? So he did this last week. And he refused to apologize. They said, oh, it's just depicting something from Lion King. And, I ain't never really watched Lion King. So, I don't know. But I know my favorite president, Barack Obama, and First Lady is not to be depicted as no kind of primate, nothing. And I'm like, Obama lives rent free in his brain. Really? And let me see if I can find it. I think I shared it once. Let me see if I can find it. The thing that, oh Lord, I done forgot the man name. Paul Moody had said, let me see if I can find it because I thought I saved it. When you be trying to find stuff, Lord have mercy. Let me go. It's a shame. I be on Facebook, but don't know how to really work it that good, I guess. Because I don't be knowing where the stuff I saved at. Like, where did I save it at? Where's that thing at? I don't know. Let's see. They're somewhere around here. I don't know what I did with them. If I can't find it, we have to move on because I don't know where it's saved at. I saved it, but I don't remember how to get to the saved stuff. Isn't it terrible? This is what you call old people trying to figure out stuff. So let me see. I think I found it here. Let's go. I think I thought I saved it. Maybe I didn't. Okay, I didn't save it. So anyways, it was Paul Moody describing monkeys or primates' features. And he was saying their lips are thin, their hair is straight, all those different things that are not attributes of an African American, So he was like, I've seen pictures, they didn't posted them up looking like Trump or something. So I don't think I don't know where I did with it. Well, anyways, moving on to the next. Well, anyways, I didn't like it how Trump tried to play our first lady, and they tried to say that there was a staffer that did this. Like, no, it was no staffer. It was him in the flesh doing it himself. What are your thoughts and opinions on foot jobs? Are you against them? I don't even know what a foot job is. Explain. But anyways, so I don't know why he would do something like that, but decorum is out the window. So the president, I don't know, he's very immature. Very. So, we know that this average, mediocre man here cannot even compare himself to what that Black man has done, things that he's accomplished, it's just disgusting. But, we're going to move on from him. So anyways, as I was looking through some things, did you guys know that that Aaron Hall was missing and they didn't found him? They said Aaron Hall has reportedly been located and served in lawsuit involving Diddy. So evidently he had became missing. And his friends, I guess some people hadn't heard from him. But there was supposedly, I guess there's a civil lawsuit going on. So here it goes. It says, Aaron Hall has reportedly been served legal papers in a long-running lawsuit filed by Lisa Garner, who accuses him and Diddy of SA dating back to the 1990s, back to 1990, when she was underage. After more than 1 year of failed attempts, a process server says he finally located Hall at an extended stay hotel in Georgia and delivered the documents earlier this week. At an extended stay? The Aaron Hall? You can have a piece of my love. I guess. He had to extend the stay. I don't know. So I believe this is a civil suit there. So who knows? But he's at the extended stay. I wonder if it looks like the one that Kenya was staying in with the white refrigerator. I wonder if that's what that looks like. So anyways, they found him. We have Savannah Guthrie's mom. They have not found her yet. They have like some aerial footage or something of maybe a person of interest. And me and my mom was talking about that earlier today. And my mom was like, she's 84 years old. I wonder how they make her move around and all this stuff. I'm like, Mom, that lady ain't walking around somewhere. They got her somewhere, hopefully somewhere put. I just don't believe they're moving her place to place to place to place. And I said, I honestly believe that it's somebody I feel like that she knows, maybe befriended. And the reason why I say that, because my dad, well, he's not as old as she is, but he's 73. And I remember, was my dad 70? He might have been 70. There was a young lady coming to spend the night over his house. And one day I happened to come over there early in the morning. Because evidently, maybe when I tried to call, I couldn't get called through or whatever. And the lady was staying on this couch. I'm like, who the fuck is this? And he's like, my friend. I'm sitting here looking at her. She's a little bit, probably a little older than I am. What the fuck is she doing over here? Like, how long you known this lady? And that lady actually was terrorizing my daddy at night. Come over there, 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, taking his stuff because, he's not, at this time, he's having ambulatory problems. So he doesn't walk as fast. He's not as steady as he used to be. But my dad liked to be up in the thick of shit, like he liked to hang, If he got the beer, he going to invite you to drink and all those things. And I'm like, Daddy, where you know this lady from? You met her because you sitting outside smoking? Hell no. No, lady, you need not to come over here. And I told my dad at that time, do not be opening your door at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning because I said, you're not the same person you used to be. And if this woman wanted to, do anything, she could. So I'm wondering if this lady, Mrs. Guthrie, had, befriended someone or something like that. And maybe they know a little bit too much of their business. I said, because that can't be random. Because how the hell we know who Savannah Guthrie mom is? And first of all, who the fuck is that? I mean, not saying it like that, but like that. I'm like, please bring that lady mama's back. Please bring her mother back to her, to them, to their family. That is just nuts. Because my mom was like, do they still call it kidnap when it's an older person? I said, I think that's still the term, kidnap. So I don't know. But it's going on, 2 weeks now? This is straight crazy. Straight crazy. We even had, because I had to talk to my grandchildren about, it was 2 kids, I believe they were from Indiana, that went missing, along with there was another girl, I know it was from Indiana. She was 17 years old that went missing. meeting these people on these gaming sites. The two little kids, which were returned, they were actually on Roblox and met someone. The little girl that was 17, well, I would say the teenage girl, she met someone on one of those gaming sites or streaming, I don't know. But that guy was from Ohio who took her to, I think some parts of Ohio. There's sexual explicit material where it's him and her having an encounter, and he ultimately takes her out. And I don't know if they found her remains or not. And then the two other kids met up with somebody. They were 12 and 15 years old and met up with somebody that they met on Roblox. He was from Oklahoma and he looked Asian. And I'm like, all of these children, they look like they could be biracial. And it's a sad thing, I said, because at 17, I don't know, I think I was real cautious at that age. I would think that at 17, you just would not meet someone over the internet and then decide. I mean, but I will say in her defense, the guy that he said he was 39, but actually he was like clean shaven, possibly at the time, definitely, because maybe he had a little bit of stubble in the picture I saw, but he looked a lot younger than 39. So I think she might have thought he was younger. But yes, he ultimately took her life. So, people have to, be careful. And like my children, my son and my daughter, my son is 26, my daughter is 32. When they doing things, I'm like, y'all need to let me know. I'm not trying to be all up in your business, but things happen. Things do happen. I like to know where my kids at. Some start feeling a little weird. I don't care. Get the hell up out of there. That's how I feel about it. And I was just telling I always tell my grandkids, if someone tried to grab you might as well, they plan on doing what they're going to do to you anyways. So if they're going to do it, just make them do it in front of everybody. You better scream and holler. Don't let them get you nowhere. Because once they get you somewhere, they're going to do all these things to you. So if they're going to try to take you out, they're going to take me out in front of everybody. So I'm going to scream, holler, fight, kick, whatever it is. And you just have to take me out right then and there, because you're not going to take me somewhere and then dismember me and all those kind of things. No. So we got all that stuff. Hopefully all those people, or Miss Guthrie, she's found. And we also found out that, oh Lord, what's his name? Out of Little John. Remember, they had put out a missing alert for his son, and it seems like he possibly had a mental break or something, because they said he had left out of the house with no clothes on. They found him in a pond, and I guess they should be having a funeral soon, or if they already did, I'm not sure. But I think he was 27 years old. Young guy, nice looking, graduated, I want to say from NYU. And I think he was a DJ or something like that. So RIP to him, It's, that's pretty sad. And what else? Who else I think somebody else, but I can't remember. If not, I'll talk about it another day. So, did you get a chance to watch the Super Bowl? I did. I enjoyed it. I really did. Like I said, it was a beautiful rainbow of brown. I enjoyed all the imagery. I enjoyed, the songs. I didn't know what he was saying, but I thought to myself, I got the message. I caught the vibe, And when he first came out, and it was like the sugar cane and everything, and I'm like, oh, that's because my mom's grandfather had 2 stalks of sugarcane. This is the story that was always told. And instead of eating the sugarcane, he actually went out and planted them. And that's how he ended up like, he ended up having a farm. So he ended up buying a farm because he took his sugarcane and saved them. And then as he started, growing more, I guess he was maybe sharecropping or something, and start earning money that way, and was able to buy his own farm. But it started with the 2 stalks of sugarcane. I know that part. And the rest of the story I might got a little wrong, but that's what happened. And so when I saw that, I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, shoot, the Puerto Ricans is just our cousins. That slave ship dropped them off over there. And then, we ended up over here. But them the cousins, them the cousins got the salsa twang. But honey, they had a whole lot of stuff going on that stage. I enjoyed every bit of it. And then when people were so upset and they were talking about ICE, I'm like, what are we talking about ICE? And we're talking about Puerto Ricans. Those two shouldn't be in the same sentence. Yeah, there's other Hispanic immigrants, but these are not immigrants. They are American. So why are we talking about ICE when you're referring to the Puerto Ricans? A lot of people was using that in their commentary, because I'm like, a lot of, from what I always told, Mexicans didn't want to be called Puerto Rican because, Puerto Rican was, us. So I'm like, their fight, the Puerto Rican fight and those other people fight are not the same. They all speak Spanish. Okay, I understand that. But they're not in the same fight because those people are Americans. And Puerto Ricans can look like anybody. They can look like me. They can look like anybody, because as long as you're born in Puerto Rico, you are considered Puerto Rican. So I don't know. So I just thought, okay. But I loved it. I even noticed Cardi B down there dancing too. And they say Cardi B and Stefan then broke up. That's what they said. They done unfollowed each other, or she unfollowed him. And I'm like, how do people be knowing? Or do they just have a list of people that they have to go and check who's following who all the time? Because I'm like, how do they know? But anyway, supposedly she unfollowed him or whatever. Something about a baby mama and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, what? The baby mama at the game and the other girl that used to mess with Offset. It's a whole basket of deplorables. It's a whole bunch of shit going on over there. So Cardi B and Stefan, I don't know if they still together or not, but that's what they saying on the internet. Huh? They speculating, They might just be mad at each other, I don't know. So then, who else is not together anymore? We found out Quad and King was no longer a thing. I go, what the hell? But we could kind of tell that there was something going on with them in the confessionals, the things he was saying. And I kind of got, because I didn't pick up some weight, but when she was kind of working out and he called her big back, and I'm like, is that big back because he's talking about her butt? Or is he, because nothing on Quiet is big. So I mean, she had picked up weight because she was doing the hormones, but she still looked nice. I mean, she's far from big. So they're not together anymore. So someone had said something about Quad being lucky or something on one of his posts. And he had dropped down in the comments, letting them know that her luck had ran out. And he left that situation. I said, ooh, that's a sassy ass man. I was liking you, King. But we only know you because of Quad. And for y'all who don't know, I'm talking about Quad Webb from Married to Medicine. So I'm like, what? Why is he doing this? Because she hadn't said anything. And I thought, well, we know it can't be another woman or something because nobody's popped off, being the other woman or whatever. Nobody has said any of that. And I'm like, why is he doing this to her? So then we have Dr. Heavenly. She gets on there with Carlos King, and since he done spilt it, King, so she lets it be known. She said they've been broke up. They've been broke up for months, But since he didn't put it out there, we go just talk about it. They've been broke up for months, and he was still trying to get back with Quad, is what Dr. Heavenly says. And she said all that he's doing, he's still attention seeking. A man is doing that. She said, and also that King was still trying to hang out with the same, the people in the friend circle. And then not Portia, what is her name, Lord? Toya confirms it also with Carlos King when she does her interview and says that, she's just as much friends with King as she is with Quad. I said, and that how, he hangs with Eugene and was able to get help her son get like some kind of get one of the cars that he has, at least one of the cars for his birthday or something, those exotic cars. I said, oh. So then we get the reunion seating for Married to Medicine. And we see that Quad and Toya got first seat. I'm like, is something else about to happen in this season? Because I don't see why Quad really got first seat. Because all the shit has been around Heavenly and Toya. But we know Heavenly is a friend of. I don't know. So that's all on that. So what else we can talk about? I don't know. It's been one of those days, honey. Glorilla and her sister. Glorilla's sister, from what I understand, has recently gotten out of jail. And she says her sister is a piece of shit and that her sister is not helping the family. That her sister's supposed to be there, she talking about our struggle with everybody, but she ain't did shit for us. We still here in the dirt around the rats and roaches. And I'm like, really? She ain't helped my mama or my dad. My mom's still punching the clock at FedEx and all that. And I'm thinking to myself, I am one for family. And I always said, because my thing is, if I hit the lottery, who all I'm going to help? And this, but it's got to be like 300 million I got to hit. And I can do all these wonderful things for everyone. But I'm always going to, take care of my parents, though, because my parents were good to me. But so, she kept running her sister down, even went on to TMZ. And then they was asking her, well, say she had $2 million. What do you think that she should give you? And she said $2,500. I said $2,500. So $2,500. Okay, what's the old boy name that's in the gym that shut off the girl Pinky Toe? What in the hell is his name? Oh my God. See, this old lady trying to remember these young rap people. I don't know, the Canadian boy that's in jail in California that Bang Bang Meg the Stallion. Him, that dude. He sent the girl $2,500 or 24, 25 or whatever. He sent her the money. And she was all flossing on the internet. You know how the little poor people do it. I always say they do it around tax time when they always flossing all their little money and something on Facebook. So she said he said, what in the world? Tory Lanez sent her the money. So I guess he was sending her the money, telling her, shut the hell up, shut up. I don't know. That's all the money you need? Let me give it to you, whatever. So she got the money, so she's still talking. And honey, everybody she said is coming for her. People that's coming for her, that's, are has-beens. These people ain't even A-listers. She talks about everybody. Then she talks about Shamar coming for her. And she said he looks like a number 5. and, and then Carlissa gets in it too, because Carlissa was trolling and said that she was the girl's manager. So the girl is convinced that Carlissa has gotten bookings in her name. All of this. The girl's beefing with everybody. Trick Daddy, Joe Budden. I mean, she said, please, Chris Brown, come and beef with me. She said, because I guess everybody clout chasing, so I guess she the clout now. She the clout. Look, hey girl, come to beef with me so I can get more viewers. But she the clout. So, anyways, she up here, running down the family or whatever. So, finally, Glorilla had to step up. Glorilla went on live and said, if I ain't fucked with you 7 years ago, I ain't fucking with you now. Basically, she said this girl has gotten her jumped, gotten her, was the cause of her going to jail at one point. Now, I believe these are twins. And all these other things that her sister has done to her. So she said she don't fuck with her. So get your money the best way you know how. Then she had her parents on the live because, the girl had said that Glorilla wasn't shit to her parents, didn't do nothing for them. And the mama, backed Glorilla, and so did the dad. So now I hear the girl is out there talking shit, talking about, since y'all all want to get in and speak for Gloria and be lying and all this stuff, she about to put all the family business on us. And she's put out some, supposed to be a text message or email that the mama had sent that saying that Glorilla wasn't helping them. I don't know. It's a whole bunch of shit. But I don't feel that because one person has made it, that they are responsible for you. Because you're responsible for yourself. I mean, the internet has made her famous, I guess. So maybe she gonna get it out the mud now. Am I drunk? I don't even drink, girl. What the fuck is you talking about? Maybe, I think it's my computer that may be off a little bit or something, but no, I don't drink. No, I'm drinking 7-Up, but no, I'm not drunk. So anyways, and I'm not going to respond. But anyways, so she's want her sister to pay $2,500 to help her, I don't know, do whatever. And she feels like because her sister's got it, that she's supposed to have it. Or she's entitled to it. That's what she said. I'm entitled. We grew up together. You got it. So therefore, you should help me. I have 2 brothers that are doing very, very well. Just very, very well. I wouldn't dare. I mean, they're doing very, very well. And I'm, I could not see myself saying, okay, y'all got it the way I think, because you don't never know nobody's pockets. But I'm assuming you got an extra $800,000 in the bank. So just give me $100,000 and want me to just, let me have it. I'm not going to pay you back. Just give it to me. That sounds crazy because, a lot of times when you give people stuff because they didn't work hard for it, so they just, they run through it. So anything that you work hard for, you spend your money wisely. You don't have time to, just, okay, because if I give you $300, you say, okay, I'm going to take this $300, I'm just blow it on whatever. But if you had to go and get up and go to work and only made $500, you're not going to just blow $300. You know, you had to work hard and whatever. You know, you think twice about it. So I would say that Brorilla is not entitled to Glorilla's money. No, she's not. I think I would have tried to, see if my sister could help get me on. Could I use her name for clout, but not to bring her down? I don't think that, and, watching it, seeing it, it's kind of funny, especially when she's into it with Shamar. But I don't think nothing, I wouldn't hop on this internet, dog out my parents, dog out my siblings. For what? For a little clout. No, I don't think so. I mean, you could internet battle with other people like her and Carlissa, her and Joe Budden, she and Trick Daddy. But not your parents and your sister, people that you may need to help you. I could not do that. No. And that's just not a good deal there. Also, let's see what else we had going on. People are losing their minds about the dang on about the Super Bowl halftime show. Did y'all get a chance to catch the Trailer Trash show over there at Turning Point USA? They had Kid Rock up there, honey. And Kid Rock was up there flailing around. They said it was pre-recorded. So it was pre-recorded, so I guess so they can watch the live show. But it was pre-recorded. He complained about something being off. It don't even look like that many people was there. Bad Bunny had over 135 million people view his halftime show. Kid Rock had 5. And I don't even think those are the real numbers for them. But Bad Bunny has the highest viewers of the halftime show. So the Super Bowl didn't do bad. So then Kid Rock calls Jay-Z a DEI hire. Because, Jay-Z is over like the music department for the NFL. So he helps get the entertainment together. You do realize that the NFL is trying to become more globally. They're supposed to be having I think 9 games next season that will be played in different countries, 9 different countries. They had 2 games in 2 other countries this season, this past season. So they got Bad Bunny. And Bad Bunny, he's a global superstar. I never really heard of him until they announced that he was going to be the Super Bowl entertainment. Then it was, how you hear the TikTok songs or whatever, and it's the one I like. I think it's for the music or something like that, but it comes out with the strings or whatever. I like that song. So they are saying because he did a thing in Spanish, it wasn't it wasn't for for all Americans. Okay, they said it was 40 million people who speak Spanish in America, but that's nothing compared. This is Megyn Kelly saying this shit. Because she had a whole meltdown about it. You know who Megyn Kelly is, the woman who says Santa Claus is white. So she's having this whole thing that she's saying to Piers Morgan about what should have had happened at the Super Bowl. And I'm thinking to myself, when J-Lo and Shakira did the Super Bowl, Bad Bunny came out there, and Shakira and Bad Bunny sang a song, and he rapped, and it was done in Spanish. I don't know. Then, because they said it was like un-American. I'm like, he's an American. But if we had performers like the Beatles, or if the performers like the Rolling Stones, they're not even American. But they speak English. So what? And I just thought every time there's a Super Bowl, they may cater to a Pacific group. Like last year was Kendrick Lamar. So that was us, honey. That was us. That was, honey. And white people was bad about that shit too, some of them. Because it was not their thing. They got probably Billy Joel out there. I like that, I'm pretty much well-rounded. But, or, whoever. Hootie and the Blowfish or some bullshit, or whoever. They have, or maybe some country artists. They'll have, things that are catered to certain demographics, but it should bring everybody, because it should be everyone have a chance to present their culture, I think. I feel like they should be able. So when they had Kendrick Lamar, so we had the young hip hop people, or the old hip hop heads like me, we enjoyed the shit out of it. It was so pro-black and everything. Yes. So now we have a Spanish-speaking Puerto Rican man that is a proud Puerto Rican, and I loved every inch of it. I think I might try to even go to Puerto Rico next. I might go to Puerto Rico next year. Because this year, we're doing Miami. I don't know, maybe try to go to Puerto Rico later this year. But yeah, so I thought it was a good halftime show. And usually that's the only reason why I watch the game. It's for the halftime show and to see some of the commercials, So, but they're losing their shit about it. Trump said it was the worst show ever. And all I want to say to him is Epstein, 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 Epstein. Shit. He even talked about the women gyrating, how it was just so bad for the children to see. And I'm like, Mr. Epstein Files, really? You talking about children? Lord have mercy. But anyways, allegedly. Well, his name is mentioned in there, so I don't know. But anyways, yeah, so, I'm trying to think about all the things I missed out on talking about last week. So I'm just kind of rambling a little bit. Somebody thought I was drunk. Somebody asked me about a foot job. I don't know nothing about any of those, but I definitely ain't drunk, girl. Was it Scary Carrie? Maybe she's Carrie from what's the movie Carrie? Yes. Did you pull your head out of the grave? Did you try to reach somebody? You reaching for my neck, trying to talk about me? No, I'm not drunk. I'm just happy, honey. I'm happy I don't got no grandkids tonight so far. Yes. So, what else is there to talk about? They said there was one of the ladies from Real Housewives of New York, Jill Zarin, she was fired about the comment she made about, she talked about something about not, well, let me read it, the article. I know I brought it up here somewhere. Lord, Jill, here we go. Let's see here, Jill Zarin. It says Jill Zarin is struggling to process her sudden firing from the upcoming reunion series, the Golden. No, that's something else. But Jill said, let me see what she said. Hold on. I'm going to share this screen. Let me go back and let y'all see what this woman had to say. Because I think she was even talking about Lady Gaga, too.
So we all agree. Now we all agree. I agree. I said it before that it was the worst halftime show ever. And it's 250 years that we're celebrating right now in the United States. And I just don't think it was appropriate to have it in Spanish. And quite frankly, I didn't need to see him grabbing his, G area. I think it was totally inappropriate. You've got all these young kids watching the Super Bowl, and he doesn't have to be grabbing himself every 5 seconds. Is he so insecure? Seriously, I didn't understand it. I don't speak Spanish. I would have liked to have known the words he was saying. To me, it looked like a political statement because there were literally no white people in the entire thing. I think it was a political statement, and I'm not taking a side one way or the other. I just do. I think it was an ICE thing. And I just think that the NFL sold out, and it's very sad because this was 75 years. And, shame. And Lady Gaga got a facelift. I didn't recognize her. I literally had to Google her face to see who it was because we all couldn't agree who it was. So that was kind of fun in the middle of halftime. At least it gave me something to do because it was so hard to watch.
Isn't that funny how people who've had a facelift, because it was clear that she had one, talk about other people who possibly may have had a facelift. We have to walk on. Let's see what this says. We have to walk on eggshells every time. Politically correct statements or else. Who's walking on eggshells? But all I know is Lady Gaga, she's white, isn't she? And I don't know, the people who were dancing up there, it might have been a white person up there. I don't know. But the presentation was about Puerto Rico, Puerto Rican men, Puerto Rican people who's in these areas that dance like this. I'm not saying that there wasn't any white people on the stage last year when Kendrick Lamar was up there, but I don't recall. I mean, unless they were dancers, but I don't remember. Was there any white performers up there? But they definitely had a white performer. They had Lady Gaga, white with blonde hair. She was up there, so I don't know. I just think that it was a good show. I really enjoyed it. I love the vibe, and I like learning about other people's culture. I mean, goodness. And then going back after the fact, and you see other people put videos up, and they are explaining what these things are, what he's saying, and what he's saying, and how these things correlate. And I thought, okay, that's cool. Just like the same thing what they did with Kendrick Lamar when he had all those, what they call it, double entendres, or whatever. There's different meanings of the things. So I like going down the rabbit hole and learning stuff. So, and it's nice to learn about other cultures and to see it. And I thought they did a very good job. The presentation was beautiful. And like I said, a beautiful rainbow of brown. It went from beige to chocolate. I loved it. Every inch of it. Yes, Bad Bunny, he did his thing. I liked it because I was up there dancing, honey. I ain't know what he was saying, but I felt the vibe. Felt it all the way. So I thought it was a good thing. And I don't know who's going to be on the next Super Bowl, but I pretty much like all music. So whoever's going to be doing the halftime show next year, I'll be dancing to that shit too. So some people have to get over themselves, and want to learn and be, like have some kind of unity. I mean, this whole thing, because like Megyn Kelly said, America, it has to be America. Now, we are in the United States. If we talk about America, there's a couple different countries in America, lady. So I don't know. She said, because the Super Bowl should have been about meatloaf and fried chicken. I said, what? It's as American as apple pie. I said, this crazy bitch that lost her mind. Because Bad Bunny did it all in Spanish. I'm glad he did too. I'm glad he didn't waver. Do it all in Spanish. And tell them fuck them. Because they play his music all around the world. Yes. I just learned that because I didn't know who he was until they announced that he was going to be playing. And he had been on the Super Bowl before, like I said, with Shakira, rapping in Spanish. So, y'all can't be so racist. Willing to, we're supposed to be united. We are the United States. We're supposed to be united and love each other, have that brotherly love like they have in Philadelphia. But no, we have these ones. If it ain't white, it ain't right. So I don't know. But that's my time. I think I got everything I wanted to say. I'm just trying to get it all out. Because I've been gone. My husband been sick all last week. It's been one thing after the other. And then, it's tax time. So, I prepare taxes also. So that's craziness right there. Because that tax on the overtime is not what you thought. You're only going to get off that half, not the time, just what they call it, time and a half. You get the half portion. That's what's not going to be taxed. So if you make $15 an hour, so if you get time and a half, so that half would be that $750. So you multiply that by how many hours you worked over for the whole year. So if you, I don't know, so if you average work 10 hours over a week, and what is it, 52 weeks? No, you probably not, maybe 50 weeks, or maybe 48 weeks. You might have did 10 hours over, okay? So we got 48 weeks times 10 times 750. And that's the portion you get to take off. Yes. So I've had people to come to me and they were talking about, oh, we got that credit for the elderly tax credit, some kind of senior tax credit. You get a senior deduction rather of $6,000. I figured they found a new way to make it look like they're giving you something, but they're really not. Because they didn't, if you get Social Security, I feel like they went up on how much they were going to tax on the Social Security if you got other income. Because it's not working out. Because I had a guy that had the exact same thing as the year before, and he got that credit for $6,000 for being over 65. And he got less money in refund. I tell you that. More Social Security was taxed. So I don't know. I said the math ain't mathing. When they give you all these new tax cuts, and it don't like nothing is taxing, nothing is cutting. You're just being taxed. That's what it seems like so far. So y'all let me know if that overtime, tax on your overtime worked out. No tax. I said, wow. Because I was thinking, okay, we're just going to have to know the flat amount. And it's not even put on the damn on the W-2. In some cases, they do put the amount that you got in overtime, but they haven't did the calculation. So you still have to calculate it. So I don't know about that. Because it's not the whole amount of overtime. I seen it change someone's tax return, name $100. So when it comes to that, I know they say every bit counts, but you're not getting those deductions or tax breaks like the super rich. So they're going to still make the middle class pay the most. And these single people with no dependents, you pay a lot. Like my son used to get so upset. What? Because he just knew he was getting a refund. I'm like, no, you owe a couple $100. What? I said, they figure you don't have any children to claim and you're making all this little money. Not even that much money, but you're making, what some household of 4 is making. So they figure, yeah, you're going to tax the hell out of you and you're going to pay more. So you're going to get a tax bill at the end of the tax season. Instead, because he just knew he was getting a refund. Oh, yeah, I'm getting a refund. He about had a fit. What? What? How does this happen? You have no dependents on there. So, yeah. So, also, if you bought a new car after January 1st, 2025, it has to be brand new. You can take the interest off on the loan. But the key fact, it has to be brand new, not brand new to you. It has to be brand new. Only one person has ever owned that car, and it's supposed to be you. If it's not a brand new car and you didn't purchase it after, that would suck. You would have got a car for Christmas, Christmas present, December 24. But you had to have this car by 2025, January 1st, 2025 or after. So they're giving you that interest off that brand new car. But we know the economy was not so great last year. So I'm wondering how many people bought brand new cars. My husband bought a car, but it wasn't brand new. It was not brand new at all. So that's that right there. So seems like the people who's probably buying brand new cars are the ones who have it pretty good in life. So that's my show for tonight. I think I got everything out that I wanted to get out. If not, I'll probably be back tomorrow. I don't know. These grandkids be having me strung out over here, so I don't know. I'm so glad that my husband's feeling better. And I don't have to wait on them hand to foot. So you guys have a great night. And I'm going to try to go to sleep here in a minute. So y'all have a great night. And I'm not going to act so drunk like somebody thought I was drunk earlier. I don't know what that's about, but I hope I didn't seem like I was slurring. I know sometimes I may talk a little fast and I don't enunciate my words. But honey, I was not drunk. Because my, are you drunk? Not too much. Not too much. Good night, everybody.